Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Isn't it funny how all these leftoids constantly point the finger at us as they state, "You're in a cult"? They even coined the term Cult 45, the MAGA cult, whatever you want to call it. You hear it over and over and over again that anyone supporting Donald Trump, anybody part of the right wing, is a cult member. But of course, like usual, it's projection now, isn't it? You know what's cult-like behavior? This Trump derangement syndrome nonsense that we're seeing from these leftoids, that's cult-like behavior. A total inability to accept the fact that other people have different opinions or don't necessarily view Donald Trump as a fascist evil dictator that you cannot associate with, adhering to this religion that anything Trump or even Trump adjacent must be totally condemned and demonized. We gotta talk about this UFC event that has leftoids losing their damn minds over a simple picture. But before we get into the leftist cult and of course the insanity that surrounds it, this video is actually brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's play that clip. Folks, you've seen the headlines. Not only is a recession coming, but major banks are on the verge of total collapse. We're facing real rough economic times, and during turbulent economic times, you must make sure to protect yourself by protecting your hard-earned savings. And that's where today's sponsor, American Hartford Gold, comes into play. Historically, one of the best and safest options is pulling out of the bogus fake money fiat currency system and holding actual real assets of value, in this case, real physical gold and silver. And the experts from American Hartford Gold are simply a phone call away, willing and ready to have physical gold and silver delivered straight to your doorstep or delivered directly into your 401k. American Hartford Gold also happens to be one of the top-rated gold investment firms in the entire country, with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And it doesn't end there. They're also currently running an incredible promotion where you can get up to $5,000 in free silver on qualifying orders. The question is, what are you waiting for? It's time to protect yourself by protecting your hard-earned cash. And it's as simple as it gets, folks. All you gotta do is call 844-440-1005. I repeat, that is 844-440-1005. Or text Hivemind, one word, to 65532. Once again, that's text Hivemind, one word, to 65532. Protect yourself, protect your future. Give American Hartford Gold a call. A massive thank you to American Hartford Gold for their continued support of this YouTube channel. And now back to the video. Alright folks, Donald Trump once again made an appearance at the most recent UFC event. And like usual, at most of these events there's big name celebrities, but Donald Trump is always the man of the night, the man of the hour, sucking all the oxygen out of the room. The crowd goes crazy.
So,
we got the man.
As you might expect for International Fight Week, a lot of people are in the building. But no one needs more security than the former president of the United States, obviously a really good friend of Dana White.
Oh my word, I mean listen, he's a massive fight fan, and that just shows how big this event is. Donald Trump has loved the fights for a long time.
And during every one of these events you see influencers and celebrities shaking his hand, having a cordial discussion. It's the former president of the United States, it's Donald Trump, whether you agree with him or not, whether you're a Donald Trump supporter or a lifelong Democrat. You see the president of the United States, you pay him basic, decent respect, you shake his hand, and you move on with your life. Well, I mean, that's the common sense perspective. The leftist perspective sees a photo like this, or like this, or like this, and they lose their damn minds. Here's washed up artist Jack White posting this picture on Twitter. Joe Rogan, Mel Gibson, and Mark Wahlberg. He didn't put a picture of Guy Fieri, but Guy Fieri's on that list as well. And then in the caption he writes, anybody who, quote, normalizes or treats this disgusting fascist, racist, con man, disgusting POS Trump with any level of respect is also disgusting in my book. That's you, Joe Rogan, you, Mel Gibson, you, Mark Wahlberg, you, Guy Fieri. This is a statement from me, not a discussion/debate, Jack White III, and of course, he closed the comments. And what do you expect happened? All the leftoids jumped on the bandwagon. The Palmer Report writes, Jack White just took a blowtorch to all these pieces of S who support Trump. All these right-wing A-clowns think think they're making themselves look cool by tweeting, "Who is Jack White?" They really think that kind of cultural obliviousness gives them street cred. Mark Hamill writes, "I'm with Jack." Of course, no surprise there. These are the people who tell us that we're in a cult, people who cannot handle the fact that other people are willing to shake hands with the former president because they've bought in 100% into this narrative that Donald Trump is essentially Satan. Yeah, we're the cult members, and you, Jack White, and your friends are the common sense, rational, critical thinkers. I mean, I could go on and explain why this behavior is just completely insane, but to really put it into perspective, what I'm gonna do instead is show you this tweet when Brian Krasenstein, leftist Twitter The Resistance reply guy Brian Krasenstein, even he can point out the absurdity and the craziness of this kind of leftist cultist behavior. He writes on Twitter in response to Jack White's Instagram post, "I do not agree with Jack White's statement about Trump supporters. He stated, anybody who normalizes or treats this disgusting fascist," we already read the statement, "I love the white stripes. I think Jack White is a good dude. I agree with much of White's politics. I do not agree with him and think this statement just divides us further. Politics is not black and white, no pun intended, it's gray. You can like someone for a variety of reasons, but not like everything that they stand for. This doesn't make you a bad person." Then of course, let's get into some of the responses. "I'm going to mute you. I agree with Jack and am done with MAGA. They have to change. Not me. He is right. If one Nazi sits at the table, then everyone at the table is a Nazi." These people are legitimately insane. You cannot bring reason into the equation. You cannot bring common sense. This is why it's probably so difficult being a leftist commentator, because you have to adhere to the rhetoric, to the hyperpartisanship, to the extreme slanderous talking points, or else. You know, it's that infamous Harry Sisson and whatever his friend's name is clip from not too long ago.
To be honest, like it's actually really hard in this space, right? Like we have like 45 seconds to record a video, keep people's attention. And a lot of the people on our side, like if they start hearing, like I've actually done it before. I've criticized like Democrats, like specifically Hakeem Jeffries, and it all just went south. Like I started losing followers. Like it's bad, right? And I really want to be that person that like reaches the other side, because Democrats, I mean, they're horrible at their jobs, right? They do a lot of shitty things, although I'll vote for them all the time. But it's also hard in the space to criticize them.
That's a good, can we clip that quote? They're horrible
please
at their
don't.
jobs. They
Please,
do shitty
please,
things.
please don't clip that. Please, no, please.
You simply have to toe the line. You have to say what the audience wants to hear, and if you don't, well, they essentially crucify you. It's kind of like what we're seeing with the TYT and Anna Kasparian, for instance. They simply have a differing opinion, what I'd view as a pretty common sense opinion, and they're being torched. Leftists don't want anything to do with them anymore. You know, it brings me back to the initial point of this video. We're the cult. Us. People with various different policy stances and positions, from the hardcore libertarians who want no government to the more moderate, almost center-left type conservatives. You know, those classical liberals who still believe in government-provided services. We all get along, we're able to discuss different policy ideas, we're able to agree to disagree and still continue to be cordial and respectful, and even exist in the same space, but these supreme TDS sufferers can't even handle a picture of another human being who happens to be a celebrity, and in their mind, all celebrities are left-wing and part of this woke cult. They can't even handle a picture of another human interacting with someone that they disagree with. It seems to trigger something in their brain where they lose it, they lose control, and they go on this ridiculous rant, spewing generic, hate-filled rhetoric, and further fueling the division that, of course, the elites want so badly. They don't realize that they're being emotionally manipulated, that they're pawns for some sort of bigger objective. You have been brainwashed. If you believe that other Americans that disagree with you politically are your enemy, well, then you're simply not seeing the big picture. You don't realize that there's some people sitting in a shady back room, rubbing the palms of their hands together, most likely saying stuff like, "Perfect, it's all going just according to plan. Splendid." They don't realize the damage that they're doing. They don't realize that they're falling for the media hysteria, the left-wing hysteria, and that they've essentially subscribed themselves to a cult. This is cult-like behavior. To shun those who don't believe in your woke religion, to view them as exiles, as other, as impure. The irony, the hypocrisy is just incredible. You know, pointing the finger at the other side, claiming the other side is hateful and divisive. As you engage in this type of behavior, wake up and smell the damn coffee. You have been misled. You know, I'm seeing more and more Democrats wake up to this fact, like Mr. Brian Krasenstein, for instance, or of course Robert F. Kennedy as well. But I don't know, it doesn't exactly make me hopeful. I think the rot is too deep at this point. I don't know if we could ever fix this. I think Trump derangement syndrome is too powerful of a phenomenon. Hopefully, best case scenario, we could at least bring some of these people back to reality. Even 1 or 2% would be a massive win. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. You know that we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.